Another new feature in the X4'26 kit is the front bulkhead brace, which on my car right here is added to the front bulkhead as per the standard recommended setting. You also have the option to move this bulkhead brace to the top deck, which the top deck now comes in one type only. We only have an open top deck in the kit, so there's no more wave top deck. And in the next step I'm going to explain why this is and how we can utilize this front bulkhead brace as a tuning option. The front bulkhead brace, which I have mounted on my car here, is kit standard. We recommend starting with the front bulkhead brace mounted. This gives the most neutral handling, the best all-around feel, and the least tire overheating. You have the option to remove this bulkhead brace completely, or moving it, or purchasing an additional one and use both braces installed on the car, then one on the top deck and one on the upper clamps and one on the front bulkhead. So let's say, for example, that you're looking for more initial steering. You want to make the car more aggressive. You can then move this brace or purchase an additional one, a separate one to move, or just add to the front top deck. When you add a brace on the front top deck here, you need to use, first of all, you need to flip it over. You need to use a bit longer screws. I believe these are 8mm screws. You can install it either in these two holes here or the most forward one. I believe when you move it to the most forward point, the effect is even stronger. So adding this brace here makes the car more initially reactive, more nervous to drive. You will have more steering going into the corner. But keep in mind it will also overheat the front tires more. So this brace mounted here versus mounted on the front bulkhead will be more aggressive, will overheat tires more, and is recommended for technical tracks where you need a lot of initial steering. Moving it to the front point of the top deck makes the effect even stronger. And of course, the maximum stiff setting is to add another brace here. It's generally not recommended, but you have the option. Of course, you also have the option of not running any brace anywhere. So no brace on the top deck, no brace on the front bulkhead. This gives the most calm feel, the most, I don't want to say lazy, but the smoothest feel in terms of initial steering. So the car will be very unlikely to traction roll. It will not grab as much going into the corner, but you will lose initial steering. But on high grip conditions or any conditions where you need to make the car less sensitive to drive, this can be a good option to remove both braces. But for I would say 90% of conditions, I recommend running the front bulkhead brace installed like this. And for this reason that we have this brace option, or the option to move it around, the front top deck now comes only in an open type. There's no more wave top deck, which of course makes it easier. You don't need to carry as much optional parts in your pit bag, and generally makes your life a lot easier when you're making changes and trying to adapt the car for different conditions.